Hello and welcome to Fast Horses Today for Sunday. Today is November 9th, and we are going to cover some races over at Del Mar. Now, I've got a few win bets I want to make on the card throughout the day, and we're going to start out in the beginning, in the first race. The first race has an approximate post time of 12:30 Pacific, so that's 2:30 here in the Central Time Zone. And the first race is a mile on the grass. These are maiden special weight fillies, 2-year-olds. And, maybe some future stars here, a couple nice purchase prices, and let's see what some of these girls might become. But I've got a win bet here I'm going to make, that being on the 5-horse Ramayana. Ramayana comes out of the Richard Mandela barn, and he legs up Umberto Rispoli on this horse. So Rispoli had this horse first start. The horse started out at Santa Anita running 6 furlongs on the flat grass. And, in watching her film, she ran a nice race, but it just appeared to me that she didn't want any part of sprinting on the grass. Looks like this girl probably wants to run long. She's by Uncle Mo out of Miss Temple City. And Miss Temple City, was a nice stakes performer on the grass and running long. So I think this horse, probably wants to run long, which she's going to get a chance to do here, going a mile. So this will be her first 2-turn test. The way she ran, I think that 2 turns would probably be, very nice for her here in the second start. And I also think that the Mandela barn is probably, better with a start under its belt. And you know what? Let's face it, the Mandela barn needs to pick it up. I think the Breeders' Cup was a complete disaster for them, with how things worked out, and their runners. They really didn't really get anything done. So, time to make amends in the Mandela barn. Richard Mandela is one of my favorite, if not my all-time favorite trainer. So, he certainly wins races, and this would be a race that, certainly would be a Mandela type of horse to win. As I mentioned, Umberto Rispoli takes the call again. He rode the horse last time. Umberto has definitely won some races for the Mandela barn over the years. This horse is 7-2 in the program. I think we're going to get a nice price on this horse. There's some other nice horses in the race. So the price should be fair, probably be somewhere around 3-1, 7-2. We'll take it with the win bet in the first race on the 5, Ramayana. Now we're going to move over to the third race of the day. The third race is a starter allowance race, and this is a starter allowance non-winner of 3 races in a lifetime. So it's a little different than their usual. Their usual is 2 races. So this opens this race up for other horses, to qualify. Horses who have been running in allowance races, maybe had a claiming race somewhere in their history and haven't won 3, and they qualify for this race. So it makes it for a nice betting race. They're going a mile on the grass, and these are 3-year-olds and up. So I've got a win bet here in the third race, that being on the 4-horse Mr. Leisure. Now, Mr. Leisure is by Distorted Humor, and I always love these Distorted Humors. Unfortunately, it's been so many years we're seeing less and less of them, but these are always tough horses. They can do it all: turf, dirt, sprinting, long distance. What a sire Distorted Humor was. Now, Mr. Leisure is trained by Tim Yakteen. Antonio Fresu takes the call. Now, Fresu's been on this horse quite a bit, and, Yakteen's had this horse now for quite a while. This horse has been knocking around this starter allowance ranks for a while now in Southern California. Has done well on the turf at Del Mar, having 3 starts, a win and a second. So did some nice work over the turf course there. And, this horse, it's just a matter of getting a good trip. I know that the 5-horse is probably going to be your favorite, that being Smart Code. But Mr. Leisure and Smart Codes just seem like similar horses to me. And I feel like, you work out maybe a better trip. Antonio Fresu certainly can do that on the turf. And you get a good price on Mr. Leisure. He's 3-1 in the program. I'm thinking we're going to get somewhere around there. 3-1 I think is very fair. And I think Mr. Leisure, it could be winning day for him. A small field. I think Fresu, certainly a good tactician, good rider on the turf. I think he can get it done here in the third race. We'll make the win bet on the 4-horse, Mr. Leisure. Now we're going to go to the 4th race of the day. 4th race is a 6.5 furlong dirt race, and this is, these are your bottom run claimers, $10,000 claimers, non-winner of 2 in a lifetime, fillies and mares. And I got a horse. Normally I would pass on races like this, but I think we can get a good price on a horse I think is ready to win. That being on the 8-horse, Lena Lingard, for Steve Miotti. And Steve Miotti puts the apprentice Musad on him. And this is a 7-pound apprentice. Now, I can't say I know a whole lot about this apprentice. I know that, the Jock rode the horse last time to a second place finish. So fairly inexperienced 7-pound apprentice, having 10 starts in a lifetime. But, I'm going to leave it up to the Miotti barn. They figured out something here. Miotti's come off to a really nice start at the Del Mar meet, having 5 starts with 3 winners in a second. So Miotti's pushing all the right buttons. Miotti sees fit to put the apprentice on this horse, 4-1 in the program. Coming out of the 8-hole, I think this horse gets a great trip, stalking. I don't know if the horse will go for the lead. Some of these dirt races at Del Mar have really been dominated by speed and inside. But, I think you also, given a certain trip, you can certainly stalk outside and win. So I feel like, this apprentice 7-pound weight allowance certainly could make a difference in a lower level race like this. And I think this horse, seems to be in pretty good shape. Has a nice race over at Del Mar at 6.5 furlongs. That's where she broke her maiden. So I can certainly see her taking care of the business here and getting a good price. I'm not sure that people want to bet the 7-pound apprentice, but I will today. 4-1 in the program. I'm thinking we'll probably get somewhere around that. It'll be a good win price on the 8-horse, Lena Lingard in the 4th. So we're going to make that win bet there. All right, now I'm going to skip over the rest of the day. The second half of the card just looks kind of tough. So we'll make these 3 win bets. Let's recap the day and recap the bets. Okay, so to recap the day here for Sunday, November 9th at Del Mar, we've got 3 win bets throughout the card. We're going to start right out in the first race, the 5-horse, Ramayama. Third race, the 4-horse, Mr. Leisure. And the 4th race, the 8-horse, Lena Lingard. So those are the 3 win bets I'm going to make. If you want to make these bets, I wish you the best of luck. If you want to use these in your multi-race wagers, whatever you might do, I wish you the best of luck there and what you decide to choose. Let's wish the folks over at Del Mar a very safe day of racing this Sunday. Let's wish ourselves some good luck and some good trips. As we see at Del Mar, the trips really make a difference in winning and losing. So let's hope we get some good ones and get some wins here to close out the week this Sunday at Del Mar. So again, thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today and listening to the picks. I appreciate everyone in the expanded audience. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed. If you haven't done so, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It just delivers you the content. You could always like, dislike, make comments, good comments, bad comments. I promise to respond to everything. Let's create a discussion. So let's close out this week at Del Mar, the great race place, in a nice fashion. And, get some winners here to finish this week. So have a great Sunday. Whether you're watching horse racing, watching football, I wish you the best this Sunday. And we'll see you back next week for more coverage at Del Mar.